How's it going, you guys? It's Scott with Everyday Home Repairs, and today I want to show you how to swap out a window well. And we're doing a little landscaping around the house and putting in a concrete patio right here, so it's a good time for me to freshen up two different window wells because they're corroded. This one's, the install's not that bad, but I got another one it's barely attached to the house and it looks pretty bad. So what I'm going to use is a plastic, non-metallic window well, approximately same size, with a flat front opposed to a rounded front. Now this one's also a flat front, but it's a little more narrow than this one that I'll be swapping it out with. And then additionally, I'll be taking a cover, a translucent cover, but this one has actually some structure to it so it can sit on top and carry some load and then also let light into your basement. So I'll walk you through the steps. You'll be able to see down in the timeline of this video each different step of digging this out, lining up your new one, getting that installed, securing it to your foundation, and then getting everything back to grade and making sure your drain is good to go on the inside of the window well, which is obviously very important to make sure you don't have any water issues going forward. All right, so first up, I'm going to dig out the old window well. All right, so we got everything dug out here. One thing to note, and I didn't mention at the start, when you're digging around your home, make sure you call 811. In our area, it's called Julie, to make sure you're not going to, if you had your cable box coming in here, gas, water, whatever that is, you could run into a pickle if you cut a line, damage a pipe, especially you don't want to be messing with any gas lines or anything. I had my yard marked just a couple months back, so I knew where everything was, and there's really no utilities on this side. So just make sure you do that as a precaution. So I dug everything down to the base there, left a little extra dirt in because I will be filling in. It's a little low within the well itself, and you can see this is the top of the drain. This has PVC going down to perforated pipe at the base of my foundation at the footing. And then that water would come into that drain, go down to that pipe, and then flow over to the sump pump, which would then be pumped out to the city. So I'm going to build this back up. This drain is correctly positioned 2 to 3 inches below your windowsill. So if water was building up, it would go through the drain opposed to wanting to come through your window and into your basement. So the pipe's correct. This top is correct. I just need to build up the base here a little bit more and put some gravel in and kind of clean it up a bit. So that's the plan, but right now they shot in some kind of nail there into the metal frame for the window. I think I only have one on each side. So I'm going to pry those off and get out this old window well. All right, it is now officially out. It came out a little bit tougher than I had thought. Overall, I had one fastener on the left-hand side, which is actually just, they shot nails. They just shot nails with the washers through the metal framing. And I had 3 on this side, so that's what held me up. Had to trim the tree up a little bit here to get some extra room. But got that all off, so now I'm going to start to build things back up, clean it out, and then start setting the new plastic window well in place. All right, so here's the plan. I have enough room to start setting my window well. So I'm going to set my right-hand side at the top first, secure that to the foundation. what I'm going to use is 1/4 inch, 1 3/4 inch long Tapcon concrete screw anchors. So what you need to do is have a hammer drill handy with a 3/16 Mason drill bit. And for all this stuff, you can look down in the description. I'll have links to the tools, but then also the window well and other parts that we're using. So I'll secure this first, knowing it's roughly where I want it. Then I'll take my level. I'll level everything up. Then I'll set my left-hand side so I know the window well is level. And then I'll go down and I will take measurements on the inside. This is plastic, so it does have a little bit of flex or warp to it. So I'm just gonna make sure I have a consistent width of the window well all the way down as I set at least 2 on each side, possibly 3 on each side. It's not gonna have to really hold much load, but I do wanna make sure it's snug to the wall and it doesn't have any gaps in it. So to know the depth for which you need to drill with your hammer drill and your 3/16 Mason bit, all you need to know is 1 3/4 is going to be flush to the surface here. So I want a reference line on my drill bit at 1 3/4. All I do is just take my measuring tape, take my hammer drill, measure 1 3/4, and just do 1 Sharpie mark for reference. And then I will actually take that Sharpie mark and I'll take my Sharpie and I'll run my drill slowly. So then that's going to give me, see if you guys can see that. So then that's going to give me a nice reference line right here, which is going to be my depth gauge while I'm drilling into the foundation itself. You don't want too big of screws. You don't want to be going too deep into your foundation. Again, this is not really load bearing. The soil is going to hold everything in. It just needs to hold it snug to the foundation. So I will go ahead and drill my first hole. So I'm gonna drill a little bit past just so I make sure that the screw doesn't bottom out, and so gonna go back and forth just to pull that material out of the hole before putting the Tapcon in. The only thing different than just going right in with the Tapcons is I am gonna put a galvanized washer so that I have a little bit more head on there and I don't pull through the flange here on the window well. And don't drive it too much. You can strip that hole out if you try to over tighten it. Now I'll set the window well to where I want it, and I want to set the bubble right in the middle. That looks good. So what I did there is just mark on the foundation so I can take all this off, and then I can just bring the window well up to that, and then that is where I'm going to drill my hole. All right, and then we'll double check our level. Perfect. I might at least set 1 more on each side, then I'm gonna see how snug it is up and down. If it's good to go, that's all I'm gonna do to secure this window well. It's already sitting in there very rigid, especially with the backfill coming in. And then I'm just gonna do a quick check on the dimensions here. 39. Pretty good. So I had 39 inches between the ribs at the top and then also at the bottom. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't flexing in and out since the plastic does have quite a bit of give. All right, now I'll drill 2 more holes. All right, so we'll give you a little bit closer look there. I just put the 2 in on each side. It's nice and level, and it's stout. So I am gonna build up a little bit of dirt in the base here, and then put some white rock down, getting it right up to that drain level. And then I'll just go ahead and backfill in the rest of this, and we should be done. So that's it. It's about a 2.5 hour project. Now, I worked up a sweat. This is a pretty good workout for you, but I'm super happy with the end product, and you expect to pay about $100 to get through this project. I think this is a perfect DIY project, and you can save yourself money compared to hiring it out. The only real lesson learned actually is from the cover. So this is the translucent load-bearing one. You can actually step on it. It doesn't really fit perfectly, so I probably should have done a little more reference dimensions, but honestly, even with that, I think I would have to modify this a bit to get it to fit. So I can trim this up, get it to fit. It's not a huge deal, but just something maybe you need to keep in mind if you really want that cover. Do some reference dimensions, do some dry fits ahead of time. Make sure you know before you're securing it to the wall exactly what you're facing. So that's it. I'm not gonna finish up my landscaping here because we have a concrete patio coming in, so they're gonna be doing some digging and putting the forms up. But let me know if you guys have any questions. The window well that you took off, I'm sure is fastened differently, has a little different nuance to it. Just let me know if you have any questions. I'd be happy to jump in the comments and help you out. Now, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, don't forget to do that before taking off, as we have multiple videos coming out per week to help you with repairs and improvements around the house, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care.